Donald Trump, in the Woodward interview, went on to say that he always wanted to play this virus down. Those are his words. If you don't believe me, have a listen to it.
Now it's turning out it's not just old people, Bob. Just today and yesterday, some startling facts came out. It's not just older
exactly.
young people, to plenty of young people.
So
what's going on
give me a moment of talking to somebody, going through this with Fauci or somebody who kind of it caused a pivot in your mind, because it's clear just from what's on the public record that you went through a pivot on this to, oh my God, the gravity is almost inexplicable and unexplainable.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes,
because I don't want to create a panic.
He wanted to always play it down. Now listen to what the press secretary, Kayleigh, said, saying Trump never downplayed the virus. Have a listen to this.
The president never downplayed the virus. Once again, the president expressed calm. The president was serious about this when Democrats were pursuing their sham impeachment. He was expressing calm, and he was taking early action, and his actions are reflective of how seriously he took COVID.
Never wanted to play it down, yet the president just said, I wanted to play it down. And listen to what the president said yesterday. Yesterday, he said in public that he perhaps misled the public to reduce panic. Have a listen to this.
Well, I think if you said in order to reduce panic, perhaps that's so. The fact is, I'm a cheerleader for this country. I love our country. And I don't want people to be frightened. I don't want to create panic, as you say. And certainly I'm not going to drive this country or the world into a frenzy. We want to show confidence. We want to show strength. We want to show strength as a nation.
So there's president in his own words saying perhaps he misled the public. That's him admitting that.
For the sole purpose of not creating panic, which is what any decent leader would do under any circumstance. And here's the flip side of this, Brian. Had on February 7th, when we had 11 cases in the United States, had he gone out and just shut everything down and put all these mask mandates into place, and we're looking at this from hindsight is always 2020. We're looking from this after the fact. But had he done that early, and businesses had been affected, and the economy had been affected, then the left-wing media and the Democrats would have attacked him for being too quick to the trigger, for not being experienced enough, for making these drastic changes, for being a dictator, for being a fascist, for being an authoritarian. That's what he was in, a complete lose-lose situation. And as far as who do you think was telling Donald Trump all these different things over the course? We're talking mid-January, mid-February, mid-March. Brian, I'm asking you a question. Who do you think that Donald Trump was getting his information from in regards to the virus? Because, again, Donald Trump is not an infectious disease specialist. He's not an expert on these type of things, obviously, but who is?
You're asking me a question?
I'm asking you a question.
Is that a rhetorical question?
I literally said I'm asking you a question.
I think there was a number of people that he got information from, but I can tell you this. Those people never told the president to advise politicians not to wear masks. They never told the president to hold. Hold on, I'm finishing the answer now. Please don't interrupt me. You asked me a question. Those people around the president of the United States, whether that's Dr. Fauci or whether that's other professionals, in February and March, they never told the president to hold campaign rallies without social distancing. They never told the president to mock politicians for wearing masks like the president has with Joe Biden as recently as a month ago. They never told the president to hold these types of rallies with no social distancing, with no masks. They never told the president to get up there on a stage and talk about injecting yourself with disinfectant. Those people
never answer the question.
I'm absolutely answering the question.
Okay, so we're going to say Anthony Fauci is your answer then.
That's
the one name that you mentioned.
He's not the only person.
I'll tell you this. On January 21st, Anthony Fauci was in an interview with Greg Kelly from Newsmax. He said, bottom line, we don't have to worry about this one, right? Fauci said, obviously, you need to take it seriously and do the kind of things the CDC and the Department of Homeland Security is doing, but this is not a major threat to the people of the United States, and this is not something that the citizens of the United States right now should be worried about.
Okay, so
on January 26th,
can I respond to that?
On January 26th, he did an interview with John Catsimatidis, a syndicated radio host in New York. What can you tell the American people about what's going on? Should they be scared? I don't think so. The American people should not be worried or frightened by this. It's a very, very low risk to the United States, but it's something we as public health officials need to take very seriously.
Okay, so let me
on February
just say
29th,
something.
on February 29th, which is
Can I
3
jump
weeks
in?
after all this took place, he said American people should not be changing their day-to-day lifestyle right now.
Okay.
There's not. This is not a big enough threat for the American people to change their lifestyle. So,
Okay,
Brian,
can I
all this
respond to that?
information, and yesterday,
Can I respond to what
well,
you just
I'm
said?
I'm not done yet, Brian. And yesterday, Donald Trump or Anthony Fauci specifically refuted everything that was said in this bombshell Bob Woodward interview,
Well, I have
where he
something.
said, and I quote, I don't think that Donald Trump went out of his way and distorted the view for the American public.
He said he never heard him do that. By the way, you're
No,
misquoting.
that's not what he said.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He said, I don't think that he distorted it.
Okay,
that,
so
that he
I have
told
the
the truth.
quote.
And he
Unlike
also
you,
said,
I have the quote right in front of me.
okay, now you're up to me, Brian.
Well, go ahead and finish, but you're not factually accurate.
I am factually accurate,
Okay,
Brian.
I'll prove that you're not. But go
No,
ahead and finish.
I absolutely am.
Go ahead and finish.
Okay. And he said that I lost my train of thought, Brian. You can go.
Okay, so I have the quote right in front of me. He denied that he ever heard the president distort the threat. That is the term that he used. However, I have something that will refute everything that you just said. Everything that you said doesn't matter. Why? Oh, geez, I'll tell you why.
Doesn't matter?
If I could
It definitely matters, Brian.
Okay,
Just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean it doesn't matter.
Buzzer.
Doesn't matter to you.
Buzzer.
No, you didn't get the buzz when you're up to
Buzzer.
me.
Buzzer.
I like that.
I don't know
That's
what that
better.
was.
That's much better.
Okay, so I'll start over again. I have something very simple here that will refute everything you just said that is completely academic, and that is this. On February 7th, the President of the United States called this virus deadly stuff, very deadly. By then, everybody knew. So that is what the President said on February 7th. I'm not finished. He knew on February 7th how serious this virus was. He told Bob Woodward in audio, this is not
That doesn't
hearsay.
refute anything, Brian.
Okay.
It does nothing there.
Okay. All right. Well, in your
you're
opinion,
just
that's fine.
repeating yourself again, and you're thinking that
No,
that's
not
accomplishing
repeating
something.
myself again.
It's
We have
not
the
doing
audio.
anything.
We have audio to prove anything.
I
You
got my train of thought back. Also, what Anthony Fauci yesterday said was the second that I recommended any type of shutdowns or health regulations, Donald Trump went forward with those immediately. He said that as well. So Anthony Fauci, do you know why he said that? Because every single thing that Donald Trump told the American public and told Bob Woodward in those interviews, that came from, who do you think? Anthony Fauci. Anthony Fauci is covering his butt because Anthony Fauci is the one who knew all about this virus or not about this virus.
All right. So
if you look at the actual virus itself, why it spread so far, look no further than Bill de Blasio and Andrew Cuomo. And the things that they did in New York, where New York is 65% of cases in the United States originated in New York.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, do you understand what some biased Trump supporters do?
It's not a bias, Brian.
If I can please speak now, I'll start over. Do you please understand what some biased Trump supporters do? They want to take all the responsibility away from Donald Trump. They want to focus on Dr. Fauci. They want to focus on Democrats like de Blasio and Cuomo. But they don't want to put any responsibility on the President of the United States. For obvious reasons, because it's indefensible. And by the way, something that JD didn't mention, in that same interview, Fauci slammed Trump's attention span and virus response.
Yeah, actually, and he
finish.
refuted that as well.
If I can please
he
finish.
did not do that.
If I can
he
please
did not
finish.
slam
If
that.
I can please finish. If I can please finish. Thank you very much. He said, his sole purpose is to get reelected. Fauci also decried Trump's rudderless leadership and said his attention span is like a minus number, according to quotes first published in the Washington Post and a Fox News appearance later on Wednesday afternoon. Fauci said he didn't remember making those comments. He didn't say he didn't make the comments like you just said, JD. He said to Fox that he didn't remember making the comments. As you said, context does matter. And on February 7th, he told Bob Woodward that this was deadly stuff. Deadly stuff. And he admitted that he downplayed the virus. Well, if he doesn't want to scare people, right, because that's what he said, doesn't want to scare people, then why did he say months back that there were Mexican caravans at the border ready to murder your children and rape your wives? Why would he make a statement like that? Why did he also, for the last several months, make it out to be that black people are going to take over your cities led by Cory Booker and criticizing Cory Booker? Those are the statements of Donald Trump.
He said black people?
He didn't use the term black.
So stop taking it out of context.
BLM protesters.
Exactly. He did not use that term.
BLM protesters.
Stop taking what he says out of context,
Okay,
Brian.
sure. So let's go with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Let's go with that.
And that's because of AFFN.
So
which
he
is
said,
Cory Booker's plan to basically
he said
integrate the suburbs and
he
create
said-
little downtowns
okay,
within the suburbs.
So he said that these protesters, he's referring to BLM, are going to take over your cities, led by Cory Booker. Now, he's also said that if Joe Biden is elected president, and there are ads out there, that there will be no police. You won't be able to call 911. There'll be no police. Now, if his excuse is in downplaying this virus that he didn't want to scare people, then why is it that he's scaring white America? Why is it that he's scaring people across
He's
the
not
country?
scaring white America.
Really?
No, he's not.
So the suburbs are going to be taken over by BLM protesters?
You think that the suburbs only consist of white people, Brian?
I think he's scaring white
That
America.
makes no sense at all.
I think he's
there's
absolutely
there's
scaring white America.
180 million people that live in the suburbs in the United States, Brian. And now what you're doing right now is being very racist. You're saying
So
that
he's not scaring people?
He's saying that the suburbs exist for a reason. People choose to live in the suburbs because it's a whole different style of living than it is downtown.
Is he trying to scare people?
Is he trying to scare people?
Yeah, it's a simple question.
He's warning people of what's going on.
So
yeah.
he's not trying to scare people.
I don't think he's trying to scare people. I think he's preparing people for what could happen if you vote for Joe Biden.
Okay, so let's go with
based
that
on
for a
Joe
second.
Biden's policies.
All right, so let's go with that.
Which is a lot different than shutting down the entire economy, which was with unemployment down to 3.3%, then shutting down the entire country. That's totally different than preparing someone based on political policy of a candidate, Brian.
Okay, fair enough. So let's go with what you just said.
That's fine.
And then we got to take a break. You just said when Donald Trump was talking about the BLM protesters could possibly take over your cities, your response.
That's exactly right.
Your response was he's trying to prepare people for what could happen. So my question is, and I think it's a very fair question, if that's the case, let's assume that you're correct. Why couldn't he prepare people for what could happen when it came to the coronavirus in February? In early February, he told Bob Woodward how deadly this virus was and how easy it was to contract.
Broken record, Brian.
Excuse me. Please answer my question. You could say broken record.
You didn't
all day.
answer my question.
Okay.
You took the question I asked you.
JD's not going to answer that.
Of course, I answer your question.
Convenient. Very convenient. Very convenient.
Every single thing that Donald Trump did, Anthony Fauci asked him to do. Whatever. If Anthony Fauci recommend. Well, he's the infectious disease specialist.
You're not answering my question.
He's the chief virologist.
Okay.
He's the one.
Yep.
He's the one that when we used to have conversations about the coronavirus, and I brought up a different doctor, you would bring up Anthony Fauci because he fits your narrative. Anthony Fauci told Donald Trump what to do.
Okay, we got to take a break.
If Anthony Fauci wasn't telling Trump to do things, he was not going to do them, Brian.
So we got to take a break.
Bottom line.
We got to take a break. But again, my point was JD said, well, when it comes to the BLM protesters in the suburbs, he was just preparing people for what could happen. And my question was, why couldn't he prepare people for what could happen in early February when he knew how potentially deadly this virus could be? And JD brings up Fauci. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some phone calls now. The number to call, 702-257-5396. I think this is one of the most dangerous things, if not the most dangerous thing, that Donald Trump has done in his presidency, maybe even in his life, in downplaying this virus intentionally. What do you think out there? Do you think this is not another no big deal? What do you make of this? You still going to vote for Donald Trump? Does this not bother you at all? I would imagine there's probably plenty of Trump supporters out there. Doesn't bother them at all.